Good evening. Commuters in Sussex and Kent fear the all-out strike by train drivers next week is now certain to go ahead after the High Court in London ruled that the proposed industrial action by the drivers' union ASLEF was legal.
Well, it means that as well as the RMT dispute by the conductors, drivers will walk out on Tuesday, and that could prevent every train on the southern network in Kent and Sussex from running. At the High Court for us, Tom Savides.
Well, after 2 days of legal arguments here at the High Court in central London, the High Court judge has ruled that those strikes next week can go ahead despite a groundbreaking legal challenge to stop them. Now, the train drivers' union ASLEF says now 3 walkouts next week with a further 6 in the new year in January will be happening as previously planned.
We urge the government to change their stance. We urge the companies to come to the table in a proper way. We've had 20 years of privatisation where we've always agreed the methods are working with whoever's been there, whether we agree the model or not. Having our terms and conditions unilaterally changed and told we've got no right to have a say in the safe operation of the railways, I don't believe is the way forward.
Well, the parent company of Southern, Govia Thameslink, was seeking an injunction to stop those planned strikes. Today, their bid failed.
Naturally, we're very disappointed by today's ruling. The judge acknowledged that such unprecedented industrial action by the ASLEF trade union will cause massive disruption across the network for our travelling public. The judge also acknowledged that the widespread use of driver-only operation is perfectly safe, both across the southern network and across the rest of the UK rail network.
Well, train passengers and commuters on Southern have faced months of disruption because of a series of different strikes and industrial action. Now, unfortunately, that will now carry on into next week and also into January of next year.
Tom Savides in London, thank you. Well, away from the High Court, the disruption caused by the 8-month-long conductors' strike, the RMT, continues.
People living in Sussex say the hardship is as great as ever. But as Kerry Swain reports, one commuter at least has found a way round the chaos on the railway.
My wife particularly is quite worried. It was a little while ago I did get knocked off, and she had to come and pick me up and take me to the hospital. I spent a night in hospital, so I think that's a constant worry to my wife, certainly. Through the winter, it's pretty horrendous, to be honest. It's quite dangerous, it's icy, it's dark, you have to dodge cars and deer in this neck of the woods, so I'd much rather be on the train in the winter.
The crisis on the railway is changing lives. MPs in our region say hundreds of constituents have been in touch, warning they're in danger of losing their jobs. One commuter had a new job offer withdrawn when the employer realised she would travel on Southern Rail. Darren Ray moved to Uckfield so he'd be within walking distance of the station, but the service so unreliable he's commuting to Croydon by bike.
I blame the overarching rail company most of all, but I think I've started to lose sympathy with the strikers. It's gone too far, and the people that are losing are the commuters. We pay the fares, we're not getting the service.
It's not just commuters. Robbie Smith is disabled. He depends on the train to get to hospital appointments and visit friends. He describes a journey to Littlehampton from London this week, which took 5 hours and several trains, as the worst experience he's ever had on the railway.
It's very horrid and dire experience. It was cold, the staff were very unhelpful, they didn't have any idea what was happening themselves. We had to change trains at least 3 times. I find the journeys particularly difficult for me because I have slight disabilities, I have an imbalance problem, along with a few other slight disabilities, so I can't stand for a prolonged period of time. So he's waiting by the ticket gates for the announcements on the departure screens. It's just complete and utter shambles.
About half of trains were cut today. Sir Nicholas Soames, the Conservative MP for Mid Sussex, says there's a mood of real anarchy among passengers. Kerry Swain, ITV News.
And for more stories in the southeast and the latest